All right, how's it going, everybody? I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be checking out the Oakcha fragrances. I had polled you guys earlier and you said you wanted me to buy a bunch of them, so here we are. I bought 24. I kind of went all out and got 4 different sample sets as well as a full-size bottle so that we can check out the presentation of that one. So I'm going to kind of split it up because there's a ton of fragrances that I bought from them. They have 2 sets that are their original works, and they have 2 sets that are clones. So in this video, we're going to be checking out the clones. If you're interested in checking out the originals video, then I'll make a video on that. And then of course, I'll make a full video of which ones are worth it, what should you buy, and is it worth it overall. So let's check out these clones that they have. They have a lot of clones out there. Most of them are either for the kind of more mainstream fragrances, or they're a little more niche fragrances in the jewel collection. So the mainstream fragrances are going to be in your discovery set, or you can buy them on your own. Usually they run around 30 bucks, I believe. Usually there's a sale going on, so try not to pay full price for them, folks. So the first one is going to be their Lost Cherry clone. This is called Sinful, okay? And this is a relatively good clone of Lost Cherry. They did a good job with the cherry. It has a little bit of that bitter almond note to it, and it has some nice woodiness and some sweetness in the base. So overall, it's actually about an 8.5 clone. The Alt Fragrances one is also pretty good. So I don't have any sort of affiliation with this company. Unfortunately, guys, I don't have any discount codes for you or affiliate links for you. But I'll put a link to their website in the description as always, and I'll have all my other Clone House discount codes in the description. So the next one that I got from this discovery set is the clone of Gypsy Water by Byredo. This is called Morning Rain, and it's relatively weak. It's not super good. It's decently close to the original Gypsy Water, but I think that they could have done a better job with the performance, especially given that what they're selling is extrait de parfums. Okay, so all of these are extrait de parfum, meaning they are at least 20% concentration and up to around 40% concentration of that pure oil. With eau de toilette being more like 10 to 20, and then 15 to 20 being like a eau de parfum. So the next one we're going to be checking out is their clone of Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. This is called Torrid Day. This one I've actually heard a good amount of hype about, and the hype is real. So this one is actually a very decent clone. It's probably their strongest clone. It probably lives up to the extrait de parfum the most. Yeah, it's a solid 8.5 out of 10 clone, okay? So the next one is Oud Satin Mood by MFK, right? Mason Francis Kirk John. This one is called Blue Velvet. This is also a relatively good clone. I would give it an 8 out of 10. It is a little bit harsh, especially because the kind of the fame behind Oud Satin Mood, which is a great fragrance, by the way, is that it is smooth like a velvet. It is a very smooth, palatable oud. And this one's still relatively nice. It's a nice smooth oud, but it just doesn't have that kind of feel that the original has. So I wouldn't really recommend that one. There is a Baccarat Rouge 540 clone that they have. They offer it. It's called Sweven. I don't know, but it's decent. It captures it like pretty much every other one does, but it's kind of weak. So I'm gonna say no go on this one. Probably go for the Alt one, or who else makes a good one? Yeah, the Alt one's pretty good. So this is called Heaven Speak. It's a Killian Angel Share clone, and it's pretty good. It smells kind of like an apple pie, a little bit of that brandy note in it, but it smells so similar to Killian's Apple Brandy on the Rocks, and it doesn't really capture what I get from the original Angel Share. So it does have kind of that nice booziness and the vanilla note, but it's just not super good. I'm sure there are other better clones out there. We've all heard of Kamra, we've all heard of all the other ones, and I have yet to own Kamra actually. So there's probably better ones out there because that one wasn't actually very good. So I won't recommend that one. Next one we have is Nectarine Blossom and Honey by Joe Malone. So this is called Beekeeper, the Beekeeper. And this is a nice, pleasant spring summer fragrance for women for sure. Yeah, it's relatively light, but again, that kind of is the nature of this fragrance. So that one's actually pretty decent too. I'd probably give that one a 7.5. Also, just quick side note, here is the presentation. If you don't want to watch the overall video of the Oakcha fragrances, the presentation of what they're going to come like if you buy a full size is it's just going to be a relatively cheap plastic cap. I've actually seen these type of bottles online, although they do have a imprinted logo, Oakcha, on the side that is in the glass, so that's actually relatively nice. There was a leaking issue with this one because I believe these are screw tops. So there was a leaking issue when it first came. I emailed them and within 1 day they already sent me another one. So their customer service was actually relatively good. It came within 14 days, so shipping wasn't too bad. And then of course, yes, these are extrait de parfum. So you can buy them in either, I think it was like 30 mils or 50 mils. So I got the 30 mil. This one is called Praise the Perfume. So this is a clone of Melanie Martinez's Crybaby Milk, okay? Great fragrance. It's kind of a holy grail fragrance that everybody wants, but nobody can get because it was discontinued. We don't know if they're ever gonna make it again, and all the diehard fans are paying hundreds of dollars for the original. So there's a bunch of clones out there. I heard this one was pretty good. I gave it a try. It is a, you know, relatively nice, lactonic, you know, milky fragrance. Very sweet, vanillic. There's not a whole lot of that strawberry note that apparently people can smell. It smells like a strawberry milkshake. I'm not getting a whole lot of that. And to be honest with you guys, it's a great fragrance, but if I were you, I would recommend, if you're just looking for a milk one and not looking for a clone of Melanie Martinez, if you're just looking for milk, I would actually recommend this Gudu. This one is $6 on Temu. So it's called Gudu. It's those milk candies. Remember when, you know, I don't know if you guys were young and you had those Asian milk candies, but it smells just like those the Chinese milk candies. So it has that kind of sweet, vanillic, powdery milk, you know, smell to it. Really good and way cheaper. But if you are looking for a decent clone of it, I have never smelled the original, but that apparently is a decent clone. So then they have their jewel collection, okay? And they all come in these nice little, cute little boxes with a magnetic bar and magnetic strip across them. So their jewel collection is a collection of fragrance clones that are clones of super expensive fragrances. What I mean by this is they find like the most expensive fragrances that they can find in the world and they try to make clones of it. So this first one, Diamond 15, this is a clone of L'Oréal Paris Le Monde de Mesure, which is the most expensive perfume ever sold. And it's sold at $1.5 million. It's crazy. It's kind of weak. It has a nice, the citrus note up top, bergamot and sweet orange. A little bit of cedar and vanilla in the base, but it's actually not very special. So I was a little bit let down by that. But then again, you know, when you pay $1.5 million for a fragrance, you think it's gonna blow you away, and sometimes it doesn't. So it's just, that's art, you know. So the next one, Emerald 13. Okay, so this is a sweet musky fragrance inspired by Shamuk by the Spirit of Dubai, which retails at $1.3 million. And it's kind of a, sweet musky fragrance. It's kind of weak. I don't really like it. So that kind of sucks for those people who spent over $1 million on that. But, you know, to each their own. Next one is called Pearl 22. So this is inspired by Clive Christian #1 Imperial Majesty. This was $220,000 and it was given as a wedding gift to Prince William and Kate Middleton from Clive Christian. This one is much stronger. It's relatively old school, but it is a good fragrance. This is very well done. Kind of gives you, you know, a dated feel to it a little bit, but it is still modern enough to wear today. I really like it. I really like that it has that kind of old school musk in it. It has some vanilla and sandalwood in it, a heart of clove and vanilla, yes. And then of course it has that neroli up top, which gives it part of that, you know, part of the neroli gives it a kind of that old school vibe, right? So yeah, that's a really nice, high quality barbershop fragrance. I actually would recommend Pearl 22. The next one is Ruby 34. This is inspired by Chanel No. 5 Parfum Baccarat Grand Extrait, which retails at $34,000 and reimagines No. 5 classics. So Chanel No. 5, very classic soapy fragrance. It was one of the first ones to use aldehydes, which are, you know, aldehyde C12M&A, aldehyde C9, C10, C8 is okay. They're all very soapy notes. This one is extremely musky though. It has that soapiness from the OG Chanel No. 5, but it also has that kind of musky tone, very dated feel to it. This almost smells like a men's fragrance. This smells like an old school men's fragrance. Don't really like it, but you know, if you're into that, you can get it. If I were you, I would just go for something like, you know, one of the old school musks like Jovan Musk or something like that. You're gonna get like 80% of the same thing, probably for cheaper than this anyway. And then the last one, oh my gosh, it's so good. Sapphire 7, it's a floral spicy fragrance inspired by Baccarat Les Larmes Sacrées de Thebes. Each ounce of this sells for $7,000 and it's inspired by Egypt and King Tut's tomb. I don't know about that, but it's amazing. Okay, this one's really good. It does lean a little bit feminine, okay? But man, I would say it's unisex, leaning a little feminine. It's a floral spicy fragrance, okay? So does lean a little bit feminine. Floral spicy notes, Egyptian cassis, pepper flower with a heart of jasmine and rose, and then it lingers with base notes with balsam and myrrh, okay? So very out there, very unique. This one is probably the best of the Jewel collection. And the best of the Discovery set would be the Tobacco Vanille, followed by the Lost Cherry. Those are both quite good. The other ones, not sure that I would really recommend those, okay? Because you can probably find better clones out there, okay? We live in this age of clones and there's so many good clones out there. You know, I remember I was just reviewing a clone, Killian's Apple Brandy on the Rocks. That one was really good by Fragranza. That was super, super good. It was a little more expensive, but you know, you get a little bit better of a clone from them. So, you know, kind of shop around. Those are the ones that I would recommend. And of course, these aren't, you know, the only fragrances that they have in each collection, but those are kind of the main heavy hitters from those. All right, so thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and hit that thumbs up. Let me know you care. And, you know, if you're interested in checking out the fragrances that they make on their own, I made a separate video just for the ease of, you know, sometimes people just want to see their clones or they just want to see their own fragrances that they make. So I'll pop one of those videos out as well soon. And yeah, until then, I'll see you in the next one.